Alright everybody, here we are again. This is a wonderful morning before work. Been trying to get a few of these mornings in. It's hard to fly sometimes in the afternoons, get busy. So I'm flying from Marion, Arkansas today, and this is the Marion, Arkansas Sports Complex. And it was so dark at this beginnings time here, I wasn't sure where I should take off. I'd never flown from here. I was supposed to fly with somebody else who couldn't make it at the last minute. So instead of flying from the grassy areas that you see here, because I couldn't see in the dark, I figured the parking lot was the safest bet. Knew there was no wires, I could drive through it back and forth. The wind actually wasn't great when I took off. It was actually coming the wrong way, but it was so small I didn't figure it would matter. Here's some more examples of the Spyder with the 2D steering. Wanted to get some of these from the back side so that you could see it a little better. My camera unfortunately died about halfway through this, so I got a little bit, but not a whole bunch. So these are some pretty gentle pulls on the brake line, but it's still pulling me pretty good. So because I flew early, I wanted to have these strobes on. These aren't your typical strobes, they're actually just flashlight strobes. They're plenty bright enough to see for 3 miles, and I just tacked them on there for now. I'll show you what I got. They came in the mail the same day a little bit later here in the video. So if you guys hang in, I'll show you a few things about my helmet and about the strobe lights that I've got as well. So when you're in flatland like this, you got to try to find something interesting. So a ditch with some water in it, some trees. It's about as interesting as it gets mostly around here. So here's some of the levees for the Mississippi River. The Army Corps maintains them. And like I said, I work with the Coast Guard, so I kind of deal with it some, but I figured I'd come over here and fly around. There are some homes around the levees, and it was, again, unfamiliar place. So I was trying to stay up high enough that I wouldn't hit any power lines or anything like that. And you can see one coming up in front of me down there. I didn't actually see it because it was darker than the picture's showing here. I didn't see it until I was right about here, and so I figured, whoa, check that out. I'm glad I wasn't flying any lower. Hear the horror stories about people hitting these power lines. One thing Kyle Oakley mentioned in one of the Facebook posts was use a laser pointer. If you can't see what's in front of you, if you use a laser pointer when it's dusky or dawn, it will show up all the lines in the way, so you can give a last double check. So here's a little bit more of some hard turning here. I mean, it's just super easy to get this thing sideways now and spiral around in the same spot with a little bit of throttle or spiral downwards if you're trying to lose altitude. This thing is becoming quite fun to play with. I'd equate the old brake system, the regular brakes, to the rudder on an airplane. Pretty much flat steers you sideways, and the wingtip steering is like adding ailerons in there with your rudder. You can really get a heck of a turn out of it. So I did this overflight because before, like I said, I couldn't see. So I wanted to land in the grass because I don't trust myself landing on asphalt. I'm bound to trip and skin myself all up. So I saw those power lines here to the right, but figured there's none here in this way, and I'm close enough to my car. So this is where the flight ends, and we'll talk just a second in the house about a few things that gear-wise I've got going on. Hey, so I wanted to show you guys a few things in conjunction with the video. One thing, I use an aviation headset with my helmet typically. I don't have a Sena, so I have an aviation radio. It's out in the car, and I use this guy here. It's my Flightcom active noise canceling headset. I don't usually turn the active noise canceling on. I don't see a point for it. It does just fine passively, but I've got the 2 general aviation plugs here like that. And then what I did was took out a section of the helmet here, and I'll pop this open and put the headset underneath and then close it back. And I have to put the boom of the mic through here. I'll show you how in just a second. So that sits down inside there. I don't know if you can see that. And then the boom of the mic sits through the center of the earpiece here. And then attach it to your head the normal way. This, like I said, is going through it, so it can't come off of here. it's attached underneath there. That's the only way I could find that it would work really well and still keep the helmet intact. I do also use like a standard wireless headset for my phone, a Sony XDR I think it is, and it'll fit in there as well. Any kind of headphone will fit in here, and that's even nicer with the wireless thing there, although it's not very good at canceling out the motor noise, so I put earplugs underneath the Sony headset. But this one works really well like that. Don't need any extra earplugs. You can communicate with airplanes and listen around for stuff happening. If I need to, sometimes I'll throw some earbuds under here so I can talk with people on their Sena or something like that. But it's not the best solution. Definitely need to get a Sena. So another thing we got right here is this little guy. This is a super tiny little strobe, and Kyle O'Glee recommended it as a quick and dirty way to have some strobe capability. It was $36 on Amazon plus tax now. This guy is blinding, and then you can do it a few different ways where it slow blinks, or it stays on like a flashlight, or it blinds the heck out of you. So $36 on Amazon. Threw some sticky tape on the back of it, Velcro, and charges up in a couple minutes through USB port and lasts supposedly about 6 hours. So can't complain there. So we'll see how good that works. Thanks everybody for joining us. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you liked it. And hopefully subscribe and keep up with what we've got going on. See you later.